Welcome back to Never Don't Ask with me, John Martin. And we are doing our first station review from north of the border. Not the first one I've written, but since I found out that I didn't have enough footage of those stations I filmed a few years ago, we're heading to Falkirk Grahamston, one of the two stations in the town. And can I just apologise if you can hear background music? It's quite late at night and my neighbours have started playing music. Grahamston Station sits officially on Meek Road, which runs to the north of the station, but has entrances to the south on the A803, a road which I ever get these things monetised, saying the name would demonetise the entire channel. Graham Road crosses over the station to the east. We're in the centre of Falkirk here, in an area that unsurprisingly was known as Grahamston, or however it's pronounced up there. The station is on the Edinburgh to Dunblane line. The next stop to the west is Cumbernauld, just under a mile away, and to the east it's Polmont, where the line towards the other Falkirk station, Falkirk High, diverges. Polmont is 3¼ miles from here. The line, to what I'm going to occasionally call Falkirk Low, opened in October 1850 and was built as part of the Stirlingshire Midland Junction Railway, a line which was sponsored by the Edinburgh and Glasgow Railway, which also ran to Falkirk High, in order to gain access to Stirling and Perth and compete with the Caledonian Railway. The line was sold to the Edinburgh and Glasgow on the 1st of October 1850, with the line and the station opening the same day. The station opened as Grahamston (Falkirk). While the Edinburgh and Glasgow entered a truce with the Caledonian Railway, the truce led to the North British Railway facing higher charges, and they weren't happy. 1st of August 1865 saw the Edinburgh and Glasgow absorbed into the North British. 1905 saw the station gaining its current name. The North British ended up being part of the London and North Eastern Railway upon grouping, and then British Railways upon nationalisation. The station used to have goods sidings on either side of the line, and there were extensive tracks to the various industries that sat along the Fourth Clyde Canal that runs through the town. Being a Scottish station, this doesn't get included in the DFT classifications of station types. The layout is a traditional two-side platform layout, both platforms being 157 metres long. There is a footbridge linking the pair of platforms. Marks for services 6 out of 10. This is a well-served station. Its main connection is the Dunblane line, which has services between Dunblane and Stirling to Edinburgh. However, there are also services via the Cumbernauld line to Glasgow Queen Street. These terminate here. Both of these are from Scotrail. In addition, LNER have services from King's Cross calling here once a day to Stirling and once a day to Inverness. Trying to find service patterns here is a bit more difficult, as Wiki claims there are 4 trains per hour service to this station from Edinburgh. The railway data site claims this station gets 6 trains an hour off peak. I'm more inclined to believe that. However, it does include the terminating service to and from Glasgow as 2 separate services. Based on real-time trains, there are 2 trains an hour to Dunblane off peak, 2 to Edinburgh, and a Glasgow train. The Edinburgh service has a varying stopping pattern, so by the time it reaches Falkirk, it no longer runs at the same time past each hour, which is unhandy. It's just over half an hour to Edinburgh from here, and just under 3/4 an hour to Glasgow. Given how many routes there are between Edinburgh and Glasgow, it's kind of nice that this isn't one too, despite the station having connections to both cities. Looking at the 23 to 24 statistics, the most popular destination from here is Edinburgh, with 78,690 journeys, followed by Stirling, Glasgow Queen Street, Haymarket and Edinburgh Park. Although when I was here, I was using tickets for both Falkirk stations, and Falkirk High also serves Edinburgh, Haymarket and Glasgow Queen Street. It should be mentioned that Falkirk High, as its name suggests, is at the top of a steep hill. So given to the choice of walking to either stations, I chose this one 3 times and High once. On the other hand, coming back from Edinburgh, either station was just as convenient to the hotel I was in, and the hill wasn't such an issue coming down. The stats show Falkirk Low had 579,928 passengers in 23-24. Passenger numbers in what is a somewhat commuter station haven't recovered from the pre-COVID levels. Data over a longer period of time, 2001 to 2016, fluctuates as British Rail and so on used various different estimates over who used what station. Averaged out for the last year we have statistics, it's 1,589 passengers a day. We have 709 services a week, which gives us 15.7 passengers per service. Falkirk High, with less trains, is recorded as having more passengers. Marks for onward travel, it is 4 out of 5. The bus stop on Graham's Road serves the 2 and 2A to the Forth Valley Royal Hospital, the 5 to Bainsford, the 7 to Lambert, the 8 to Fankertown, the F14 to Middlefield, and the F16 and X37 Swift that finish locally. On Park Street nearby, we have the 1 to Maddiston, the 2 and 2A to Bowness, the 3 and 4 to Grangemouth, the 5 to Hallglen, the locally terminating F14, the F16 to West Quarter, and the F4A to Tamfor Hill, with the X38 to Edinburgh and the X37 to Glasgow. So, it's a pretty good selection of buses. Marks for accessibility, 7 out of 10. This is a staff station with dot matrix displays and PA announcements. Possibly too many announcements during my time on the station. I heard the bad Oasis pun-laden warning announcements every few minutes. Yes, I was travelling into Edinburgh during Oasis and the Fringe. The station has no in-station step-free access between the platforms. Instead, it is via the road. Marks for station facilities, 4 out of 10. There is a station building on the Edinburgh side with a ticket office. We have car and bike parking and information posters. The car park has 342 parking spaces and there is space for 40 bikes. Marks for care and character, 13 out of 20. The station is pretty neat and tidy. It's an open station in a busy town centre, so doesn't feel isolated. Yes, the big advertising board for Tesco's is rather overly commercial, and I'm pretty sure the Tesco's meat advert will have annoyed some sections of the community. We certainly haven't scrimped on the flowers. Lots of well-kept plants in the station, and I really do like the train planters. What marked this down is the lack of character of the architecture of the station. There are certainly many worse places to spend some time, but it's really down to the care of local community groups that bring this station above average. So well done to them. Marks for nearby things, 5 out of 10. We're pretty central in town. There's impressive churches, spires and buildings around, and plenty of pubs. The Forth and Clyde Canal is 10 to 15 minutes walk away, along with a whisky distillery, if you like to see how the Scottish mistreat their beer. Falkirk's 2 major landmarks, however, aren't close. The Falkirk Wheel is almost an hour away in one direction, and the Kelpies further away in the other direction. The Wheel is better reached from Falkirk High. Overall, this is a fine little station. Good services to Edinburgh and Glasgow and the Central Belt, as well as lots of buses. Overall, this station gets 39 marks out of 65, which is 60%. The Falkirk High review will turn up at some point on this channel, so stay tuned for that and all the other station reviews from around the UK. Please give this a like, subscribe and a comment if you have visited here. What would you rate higher? Falkirk Low or Falkirk High? And I'll see you next time for another station review.